Hello guys, welcome to another video. Yes, today I have a question still on algebra. I have a question. A pilot flies 20 kilometers from the origin. A pilot flies 20 kilometers from the origin. What does this mean? It means the pilot starts from rest. That is from 0 kilometer. That is what it means. Zero, origin, zero. At an angle of 30 degrees to the position x-axis. The pilot position is represented by the coordinate xy. Okay, exactly. This is what you have here, xy. Find the value of x and y. First and foremost, you need to understand how to locate a point in space. This is very important because this is all about algebra. You need to understand how to find solution to a problem. Okay, most times the problems are represented with the unknown value, which is x or y. So you need to find a value. So now let's assume we have, now listen to the question. The question says at an angle of 30 degrees to the positive x-axis. Positive x-axis, meaning we need to create a point in space. You use the 4 cardinal points. This is 0, always on the first. So let's assume, let's scale this point. The maximum was 20 kilometers, meaning it started from rest, it flew. This is the pilot. Let's represent pilot to P. So this is the point, X, Y. Okay, now he starts from origin 0. Now this is x, the positive side of x, y this is the positive side of y. This side is the negative side of x, and this side is the negative side of y. Let's assume we are to scale these points 0, then 10, 20, 30, 40. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. This is negative, minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40. Minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40. Now, he flew this part, which is 20 kilometers. This is 20 kilometers. The question is asking us to find the value of x and y. The x and y. Now let's assume this is let's bring this down. The distance from here to here is the y. While the distance from here to here is the x. That is what we are looking for. Now, if we bring out this object, we'll find out that we have what is called a triangle. And this pilot flew at an angle of what? 30 degrees. This angle is 30 degrees to the positive x-axis, which is this way. This is the positive x-axis, 30 degrees. Now, what we are to look for is the value of y and the value of x. In another word, we are to look for the distance between the positive side of the point and the x and the positive side of the y. That is the distance in kilometer. So what are we going to look for? Now, this is a triangle. Now, let me bring our mind back to solving equilateral triangle. That is a triangle that have all sides equal. This is an equilateral triangle, for example. Let's bring our mind. Now I'm trying to flash our mind back to trigonometric. And we have all sides to be 2. Why do we choose 2? Because at the end of the day, we are going to share this triangle equal half. This 2, 2, 2. Now, of course, an equilateral triangle has a property which states that all sides are equal, which is 2, 2, 2, and the angles are also equal, which is 60 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree. But remember, we are going to be using 30 degree, meaning this part is 30 degree. Now, let's recall the Pythagoras theory, because we already have the longest side of the triangle, and if this side is 2, here will be 1, here will be 1. Then the side facing this 30 degree is called the opposite. Let's recall the SOHCAHTOA. Sine of this 30 degree, opposite of hypotenuse, is the sine. Now, this is the triangle. I try to bring our mind back, but the question is very direct. We have to look for, first, let's look for the y, because we already have a value for the hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the triangle, and this is the side facing the angle is always known as the opposite. And Pythagoras theory says that the hypotenuse square is equal to opposite square plus the adjacent square. This is the theory of the Pythagoras. That's why I try to recall our mind back. We are going to use this, but first and foremost, let's solve the distance first for y, which is direct. This is very direct. Now, what does it say? Opposite over hypotenuse. Sine x, opposite over hypotenuse. Now, this is a triangle which have 30 degree angle, and the longest side, which is the hypotenuse, is 20, while the opposite is y. So it will now be opposite over hypotenuse, which is sine 30 degree. Sine 30 degrees is equal to opposite, which is the y, over hypotenuse, which was 20 kilometers. Now, we have to look for y. We cross multiply. It will be 20 multiply. In maths, you can use dots to represent multiplication. Sine 30 degree equals to y. What is sine 30? Now, from this theory, we can find out that sine 30, sine opposite over hypotenuse, which is opposite is always the side facing the angle. We are concerned with this 30 degree because this is two triangle. This is, if you bring out this one, you find out that you have single triangle. Opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1 over 2, which is 0.5, which is half. So sine, it will be 20 dot, which is multiplication. Sine 30 degree from here is 1 over 2. 2 multiply here, 2 here, 10. So 10 multiply 1 is equal to 10. So 10. So y is equal to 10 kilometers. Now, the next one is to look for x. Is to look for the x. Is to look for this x. So now, how are we going to look for this x? Now, it will be adjacent over hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. Adjacent over. Let's look for, from SOHCAHTOA, adjacent over hypotenuse. Or let's say tan. Opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Because we've already gotten this to be 10. So it will be easier for us to work with this. This is already 10 kilometers. So opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over adjacent, which is tan. So we use tan 30, yes, of course, tan 30 degree, opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. Tan 30 degree is equal to opposite was 10 kilometers over adjacent is what we are looking for. So what we need to do is to cross multiply, which is 10 equals to x dot tan 30. So 30 degrees. So now let's look for tan 30 degree in this place. Searching for tan 30 degree. Now, this is the angle we are concerned. 30 degree. Now, which is opposite over adjacent. We don't know what is this side. Now, from Pythagoras theory, we say that hypotenuse square is equal to opposite square plus adjacent square. We are looking for this side. This side should, if this side is the opposite of, if this 30 degree, this is the opposite, which is 1, then the adjacent is A. It will now be adjacent square is equal to hypotenuse square minus opposite square. So adjacent square is equal to opposite square is 1. Hypotenuse square is 4, which is 2 square is 4. minus opposite square is 1. So 1. So let me bring it up here. 4, which is the adjacent square. 4 minus 1. 1 square is still 1. So adjacent square is equal to 3. To get the adjacent, we square root both sides. Square rooting both sides, meaning we have to cancel this, which is equal to root 3. So now the adjacent there is root 3. So here is what? Root 3. Now, finally, we need to look for tan 30 degree. Tan 30 degree is opposite over adjacent. Opposite over adjacent. So it will now be tan 30. Tan 30 degrees equals to opposite is 30 degree, 1 over root 3. 1 over root 3. So tan 30 degrees equals to 1 over root 3. But in mathematics, you cannot leave your answer like this. What you do is you rationalize. What does this mean? You multiply the numerator and the denominator by the value of root 3, which is tan 30 degrees equals to 1 over root 3, multiply here by root 3, multiply here by root 3. When you multiply everything, you have root 3 over, when you multiply root 3, just take 1 3. That is what it means. So tan 30 degrees equals to root 3 over 3. Now, because we've gotten tan 30 degrees, finally, when we cross multiply, 10 is equal to x tan 30 degrees. So it will now be 10 is equal to x root 3 over 3. Dots must be there. Because we are looking for x, we have to divide both sides by root 3 over 3. So it will be 10. It will be 10 divided by root 3 over root 3. 10 divided by root 3 over 3 is equal to x. Because when you divide this side by root 3 over 3, everything here will cancel. It will remain x. So x is equals to 10 divided by root 3 over 3. In mathematics, we have to change this to multiplication because we cannot solve with division. So x will be equal to 10 times, by changing this, we bring the 3 up, then we'll bring root 3 down. It will be 3 over root 3. So at the end of the day, x is equal to 10 multiply 3, which is 30 root 3. This is our answer. Finally, we rationalize, which is divide by root 3, divide by root 3. When we divide by root 3, we have 30 root 3 over 3. 30 root 3 over 3, which is x, 30 root 3 over 3, which is equals to, x is equals to 10 root 3. This is the final answer. So, thank you very much. If you have any question or you want me to teach a particular topic, please put it in the comment section. See you in my next video. Thank you very much.